The Cincinnati Bengals are again a serious player in the AFC race, and they outgunned Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs 27-24 on Sunday. It was their fourth consecutive win and sixth victory in 7 games. They remain a tough, resourceful, unselfish bunch, which explains how Joe Burrow took down Kansas City for the third straight meeting. Last year, the Cincinnati Bengals emerged out of nowhere to reach the Super Bowl. It was an incredible ride that no one saw coming. Heading into this season, a lot of people were skeptical of the Bengals. Many people thought this team wouldn't even make the playoffs. After getting off to a little bit of a slow start, the Bengals have seemed to hit their stride, and they look like a dangerous team in the AFC. While they didn't win the Super Bowl a year ago, the Bengals are back to being one of the NFL's best teams in 2022, and I'd argue the Bengals truly have what it takes to win the Lombardi Trophy in February. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Red Zone Rosano. If you can kindly hit a like on the video, it does help the algorithm a ton. Please subscribe to the channel for more NFL content just like this. I'm uploading NFL content almost every single day, so definitely keep it locked and loaded on this channel by hitting that like button and hitting that sub button. And if you want to see more Bengals content, let me know in the comment section down below. So I'm first going to start by talking about this Bengals defense and offensive line, which are much improved from a season ago. I mean, the Bengals offense was not the problem in the Super Bowl. The Bengals allowing 7 sacks was the biggest reason for Cincinnati's downfall. Joe Burrow took a beating in that Super Bowl game. The Bengals made some big changes though over the offseason to address such concerns, and they now have 3 new starters along the right side of the offensive line. After signing Ted Karras, Alex Kappa, and La'el Collins, Burrow's been sacked at the lowest rate of his career on 7.2% of his dropbacks. It's still not a good mark, but it's better than last season's rate of 8.9%. Defensively, the Bengals are also improved, allowing fewer points per game than last season, at 21.3 points per game allowed instead of 22.1. Now, I know it's not a significant change, but one area where the Bengals have improved in significantly is with their pass defense, going from allowing 248 passing yards per game to just 215, ranking 16th as opposed to 26th out of the 32 defenses. It may not seem like much, but once we look at a potential playoff matchup in the AFC, improving their pass defense will go a long way against the efforts of a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes. So look out for that. Now, another thing I want to talk about here is the Bengals. Their skill position players are solid. Aside from the quarterback position, which of course is Joe Burrow's responsibility, if there's one position that may be as important as any other in football, it's the wide receiver position. Without a game-changing playmaker, you just don't see offenses consistently show up on game day. But when you have a player such as Jamar Chase, who's nearly unstoppable, there's not much question that the Bengals can hang with any team that shows up to the yard. Whether it's the Chiefs, who the Bengals have just beaten again, the Eagles, or the Cowboys, all top 3 scoring offenses, the Bengals have enough offensive firepower to outpace them all. Chase is easily a top 5 receiver. T. Higgins is an annual lock for 1,000 yards or more. And Tyler Boyd is the 3rd receiver part of this core. He's good enough to be most teams' second best option. It's simply unfair how many weapons Joe Burrow has at his disposal. And we haven't even talked about the man waiting in the backfield in Joe Mixon. Combined with the 4 above-average players plus Hayden Hurst, the Bengals have one of the best skill position groups in all of football, giving Joe Burrow everything he needs to win a big-time game. And then I want to talk about Joe Burrow, who has shown time and time again that he has the clutch gene. I mean, Joe Burrow is the man that makes everything click with this Bengals team. He's a top 5 QB in the NFL. He's just 25 years old and hasn't come close to realizing his truest potential. And Burrow has shown time and time that he should never be counted out. Just like Tom Brady, Joe Burrow doesn't care how much time is left, what the deficit is. Joe Burrow is going to go out and win the game if the ball's in his hands. A year ago, we witnessed Joe Burrow establish himself as one of the best quarterbacks in football, leading the NFL in completion percentage at 70.4%, while also showing he isn't afraid to uncork the ball downfield, leading in yards per attempt at 8.9 per throw. He hasn't changed his approach at all this season, and even though Chase's injury was a slight setback earlier, we saw that Joe Burrow was still able to go out and perform at a high level. So I believe Joe Burrow and this Bengals team has what it takes to get back to the Super Bowl and this time win it. This team is getting hot at the right time, and if we know something about football, it's usually the teams that get hot towards the end of the season that usually go on a lengthy postseason run en route of winning the big one. So I'm very high on this Bengals team. I wasn't believing people when they thought this Bengals team was going to take a step back, or some people thought this Bengals team was a fluke and that what they did last season was simply them overachieving. This Bengals team is here to stay. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in all of the game of football. You can make an argument that he's the best quarterback in all of football. I've been high on him as well. This Bengals team, they are a team that you have to look out for in the AFC. I know a lot of people want to talk about the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs until they're blue in the face, even the Miami Dolphins as a potential dark horse. But don't forget about the Cincinnati Bengals. They are the reigning AFC champs, and this is a team that has shown that they can beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So odds are you're going to have to go through Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at Arrowhead to get to the Super Bowl. And guess what? This Bengals team, they know how to do that. So that is definitely something you don't want to overlook. So let me know what your reaction has been to this Bengals team. Do you think this Bengals team has what it takes to once again get back to the Super Bowl? They are clicking on all cylinders right now. They're playing some of their best ball of the season. They do have to finally end their 5-game skid, though, against the Browns this Sunday. I do want to make that clear that they do have a game against the Browns this Sunday. And it's weird because for as good as the Bengals have looked, the one team that seems to always give them problems is the Cleveland Browns. So hopefully the Bengals can overcome that finally on Sunday. But I mean, this Bengals team, they are playing at an all-time high level right now, and I simply would not bet against them. So let me know what your thoughts have been about this Bengals team. Let me know your comments in the comment section down below. I read them all. And that is it for me. As always, thank you so much for watching. This is Red Zone Rosano signing off, and I'll catch you all again in the next video.